Welcome to this epic disaster, the last one of the year, 2019.
This
Over,
is it. This is the last one.
But it's also the first one of the year too.
Because it comes out in
Middle of the week. It comes out in 2019.
Right.
It lingers until 2020.
It like a bad fart.
That I won't say that, but I get the comparison. I understand it.
Okay.
Hi, people. How are you? I hope you had a good holiday so far. Hope the holiday continues to be good and be safe. New Year's is fun.
Yes.
But it's not fun if you die. It's
No.
not fun if you maim yourself. It's not fun if you have an accident and do really things that no one wants to live with the rest of your life. So,
and it's not fun if you spend the night in the hospital.
No.
It's not fun for the friend that has to stay there with you.
It is fun if you stay the night with a lot of people, though. And the more that you can fit in the hot tub, the better. That's what I'm going to be doing. We'll talk about that later. First of all, let's talk about this fantastic beer that we have for this week.
Yes.
I am happy and very excited about this beer. It's very unique. It's very different. We don't drink these kind of beers on the show.
We don't. This is by Second Shift Brewing. It's called Liquid Spiritual Delight. It's an Imperial Stout. It's brewed and canned by Kreider Brewing out of St. Louis, Missouri.
Nice.
The artwork on the can is really interesting.
I love that artwork.
It even says artwork by Kyle Scarborough, the Washington Tattoo Collective.
Nice. I'm going to look up that name because this is very cool art.
Now, this on the side of the label here, it says Liquid Spiritual Delight is a stout that is a chewy, chocolatey, and a joy to behold. Just friggin' drink it, is what it says. Now, it is 11.5% alcohol.
Really? I didn't even notice that.
Yes, so it's a good one to start with, apparently.
Oh, it smells good. It almost smells cinnamony.
It looks.
It's very dark.
It's dark.
Rich.
And, yes.
Chocolatey and chewy.
Chewy.
I guess. This says chewy.
Oh, wow. So I just had a little sip, and
Liquid Spiritual Delight.
it is, it's dark.
It's very...
It's very
man.
chocolately. Very
okay, wait a
chocolatey.
minute. All right, it's very... It's it's really thick and almost syrupy. And then you think you're done, and the last notes come up, and then there's... I don't know, what is that taste? It's got a very...
I don't know.
grassy kind of aftertaste.
Here's the problem: is I used Scope just a little bit ago.
Oh, that will take care.
I can't.
Well, maybe by the end of the show, I got to figure out what that last little It's not chocolate.
I definitely get the chocolate and the coffee in the beginning of
Yeah,
the beer,
it's almost like drinking Bailey's.
but I'm
in a
not.
way.
Yeah, I'm not getting anything in the back end.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
Well,
what
we'll see
she
how
said.
it works. Kind of interesting beer. So, are you happy or sad to see 2019 go away? First of all, can you believe 2019 is going away?
No, I can't.
2019.
I mean, most of us probably didn't think we'd see 2019. At least I know I didn't. When I was in grammar school and somebody would say, how old are you going to be in the year 2000? And I'd be like, oh my God, I'm going to be 26 years old in the year 2000. And now here it's almost 2020.
Yeah.
So we know how old I am now.
I always like years that are even, have an even number to them. I don't know why. I always have.
Yeah.
And 2020 is like perfect. It's like, so I think it might be the best year of my life.
It might be a little.
I'm feeling like it's going to be.
You might have a little OCD there. You like the numbers.
It's possible.
The
It's
2020
possible.
thing.
But I think it's going to be a good year. I'm looking forward to it.
Very cool.
2019 was not bad. What I'd like to do is, in just a few minutes, is talk about some of our highlights for 2019.
Okay.
Because I think we have some highlights.
I do. I definitely
I had
do.
some things that happened that were fun, and I have some things that are going to happen before the entire year is up.
Right.
That'll
And those will be
fun.
fun. Or, epic disasters, whichever.
Yeah.
They could go horribly wrong.
But first, let's do a little game playing. Let's play a little game of Would You Rather.
All right.
Our final Would You Rather of the year.
You go
Would you
first.
rather play a final game of the year? All right, so Would You Rather is a game of Would You Rather. And so what happens is we throw a color stone. We don't really throw it. We drop it. And
Right.
In this case, it's going to be a yellow one. Because I am psychic and I can usually tell what I'm going to do.
He's not
if
psychic.
If you're new to the show, you will start figuring out at some point that I'm psychic, and you'll be like, "Holy crap!"
He's not psychic. It's green.
Green
Okay.
is very similar to yellow. You could see how I got a little confused, but
However,
still,
it's different. It is entirely different. Okay, so the green category on this here Would You Rather card
Yeah.
stands for ethics and intellect. Okay, this is going to be a quick and easy one.
Okay.
Would you rather be stupid and rich?
I'm halfway there.
Or smart and poor? You're also halfway there.
Yeah. Wow. If you're stupid and rich, you're going to lose your money. Somebody's going to roll you at some point. So that's not going to be fun. If you're smart and poor, the best you could do, I mean, you're going to make some money if you're that smart.
Right.
I think I'll go with smart and poor.
Okay.
I'd like to think I'm there. I like to think I'm smart, and I'm definitely poor.
Same.
So I think I'm already there.
I think I'm pretty smart.
And poor.
And very poor.
Yeah.
Pretty smart and very poor.
We're there already, so we don't even have to work for that one.
Nope.
That's pretty easy.
It's not really a choice.
All right, so drop a stone. Let's see what you pick.
Now, would I want to spend a year being stupid and rich?
Oh, was that the thing? Was it a year?
No, it was just one or the other.
Because I was going to say, I've been doing that for 57 years, so it's been still going on.
All right,
my turn. Red. Nope,
it's
green.
Green
Another
again.
green one. Wow, we have two of the same color of the same show. Also, ethics and intellect.
Yes.
Would you rather be really honest at the office and have everyone angry with you? That's happened, hasn't it?
Yes.
Or not be truthful and be well liked. That's a good one.
That's not really a good one. It's a tough one. Although I will tell you that I would much, much rather be
a brown noser. That's basically what that's saying.
Honest and not well liked.
Why is that? I mean, honesty is great.
Yes.
But
I think it's better to be honest with people and, express yourself rather than keeping it in just to keep the peace.
Well, too, if you're at the office, you're not there to be people's friends.
No, you're not.
So you're there to, it doesn't really matter. I mean, you kind of want them
to
like you, respect you, but that's not necessary.
You have to work with these people. So obviously you don't want to be flat out rude or offensive, but honesty is going to save a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with that one.
I might agree with you there. Agree with you there.
But you don't work in an office.
I do not, at least not on a regular basis. You're sitting in my office, by the way.
I am. This is your office.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of people in here that won't like you.
No. I got a question for you. Do you realize how hard it is to find porn nowadays? Good porn.
Well, I mean...
And when I say porn and find porn, I don't mean I mean like printed porn, like porn magazines, printed porn.
Okay.
Porn like
because I was going to say
in my day.
There's a lot of porn out there these days. You can
dial
find
it up.
All kinds
the reason
of
I'm asking,
porn.
I texted you earlier and asked if you had any porn.
Yeah.
Which
was an odd question to hear from you.
And you said no.
No, I do not.
And you said you hadn't porn in a long time, which is the same way with me. I have one that I'm aware of. I have one. I don't know if you want to call it porn. It's an old Playboy magazine. And it sounds weird, but I have it for the article.
Yeah. Sure you do.
It's weird. I have it. There's an article in it, and I threw away all of my magazines, and I wanted to keep that one because there was an article in it, and I kept that. But I think it's 1969, if I'm not sure.
Wow.
And so
you were 7.
Maybe, but all of the nakedness is just boobs. There's you see some little bit of butt and some boobs, but there's nothing else. So you can't even call it porn nowadays. I mean, that's
just nudity.
You see that on PBS.
Nudity is different than porn, obviously.
So, but I needed for an art project, I needed not graphic like hustler porn, but something where you could see nudity, and I couldn't find for my art project. I couldn't find it anywhere. I looked through all of my every stash I could find, and I couldn't find anything. And I thought, well, I'll ask you. And the off chance, I asked my wife, and she was like, "No, you would know if I had porn." So no one has porn, and I don't know how to. I could definitely download it easily. I could download what I need,
right?
But I don't need to I need an actual printed thing. I need something from a magazine.
They still make porn magazines, and I can tell you where you can get them.
Adult stores,
yeah.
But used to, you could get them in like the
convenience stores.
I don't think you can anymore.
I think the one over by my office has it.
I remember this is I might have been in my 30s. When Shannon Doherty was in Playboy magazine. Remember that? Mm-hmm. That was the last time I actually asked. You had to ask permission to have a Playboy because I wanted to see Shannon Doherty naked.
Who did you ask permission?
I had to go to there's like Barnes and Noble or B. Dalton's at the time, or Walden Books. Remember all those bookstores?
Yeah.
At one of those, and they had them, but they had them behind the counter. So you had to go in and go, hey, can I have a Playboy?
Right. For
and
a
then
long
they look
time,
at they judge you. They look
Yes.
at you with lots of judgment, and they're like, I guess.
But then before that, didn't they just have the little plastic placards that they would stick over the front of the magazine?
Well, they still do. Now, actually, I think you might be able to get some nudie mags at the regular magazine stand. Or
Right.
I don't think they keep them behind the counters anymore.
Right.
They don't care.
Well, there you
Kids
go.
can download it.
Run up to the store and get some.
I just can't. I'm not going to ask permission to, and I don't know what's in it. See, that's the thing. I need a certain pose, and so I just thought if I had like 3 or 4 magazines, surely I could find the pose that I need.
Mm-hmm.
It's not worth it. I'll just do something else.
Just have your wife pose and take photos.
But it's so weird. I'm looking for porn, just not for the porn,
Right.
But for an art project.
For an art project.
Yeah, sure.
I'm sure you are. Now, the only real porn that I used to like have around the house
Mm-hmm.
for myself was there was a magazine. It was an erotica magazine.
Uh-huh.
It only had like maybe 3 or 4 photos in it, and it wasn't about the photos. It was about the erotica
Yeah.
because I like to read, or
Oh, you used to write it.
I used to write.
You were
erotica.
learning. You were getting ideas.
Yes, about a lot of things. But yeah, I used to read that magazine all the time, and I cannot tell you what it was called. It was like, it wasn't a big full size magazine. It was like a book size magazine.
Penthouse Forum.
No, it wasn't, and it wasn't that crass. I mean, it was good erotica.
Okay.
So it wasn't just she came over and blew my mind
Like
and
highlights for adults.
yeah. Basically.
Okay.
And it was like Reader's Digest size magazine.
Okay.
So there were lots of stories in it, and that's that I would get one a month.
All right. Well, I don't know. The porn industry's changed. Porn atmosphere has changed. I mean, you can just get it on your phone.
Yeah.
And I don't know. She might get mad if I tell her about this. Tell everybody about this. My wife, like before we were married, I know my wife was looking at porn. She told me she was.
Okay.
And so
Is that where she met you?
no.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
But now nothing. She does, and I've asked her, like, do you still look at porn? She's like, no. And I was like, why did you used to do it? And she's like, I don't know. I guess I was just trying to learn techniques.
Techniques.
I'm like, well, thank you.
So while she's flipping through the internet looking at dick pics, I wonder if she ever saw the ones that I posted of you.
What you have? What? What does that mean?
They're out there.
It better not be number
They
one.
exist.
All right.
You're like, we'll discuss this offline.
Yeah, I mean, I hope you don't have any pictures of
I'm
it. Anyway,
joking. I'm joking.
You better be. But okay, so that's just the thing, though. I can't. I'm a little disappointed today that I can't find porn
In your house. You
anywhere.
can find it
I mean,
at the store.
I
You
know.
can't
Well, I
find
mean,
it here.
yeah. I mean, you could find it on the streets of Atlanta.
That's true.
Actually,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, just it's an all different atmosphere now.
It really is. And again, it's because you can find it anywhere on the internet.
Yeah.
So there's no point in putting it in print.
Well, let's talk about the year. What do you think?
Okay.
Well, first of all, how was your Christmas? Did you have a good Christmas?
I did. I spent Christmas here with you and your wife.
You did. Christmas Eve, it's sort of a tradition.
Yeah.
You stay the night,
I was that other person sitting on the couch.
and then you get up the next morning and you open presents.
Yep.
We had a lot of presents this year.
We did, which is funny because I only got each of you one thing
That's okay.
because I'm a little bit broke this year.
It doesn't. There's a present somewhere out there that still hasn't come to me from my wife.
That's true.
She buys presents just a little bit at a time, and so you get most of them on Christmas, but then you'll get them throughout the year.
Yeah.
Well, she just forgets about them or something.
My giving style is that if I'm at a thing on a rando Tuesday and I see something that I think you'll like, I'm going to buy it.
Yeah, that's what I do.
And I'm going to give it to you.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be for Christmas, and it doesn't have to be for your birthday or
Right.
for whatever other holiday you exchange gifts on. You're going to get it.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm like, Christmas rolls around, and I'm like, I gave them all those presents already. Now what do I give them?
Well, I mean, you saw it. There was a lot of presents, so we did pretty good this year.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was weird. Christmas. I felt Christmassy.
Mm-hmm.
It did. I mean, it was good, but I didn't do a lot of things that I do almost every Christmas. Like I didn't watch a lot of Christmas specials or shows.
Yeah.
I didn't listen to a lot of Christmas carols, and that's unusual. I usually start listening to Christmas music like
The
November
day after
1st.
Yeah. Well, that's true. You do. You listen to
Early.
it early.
Yeah.
And I just want to murder somebody by Christmas if I start that early.
Right. And, we had up a tree early because we put up we had a Halloween tree.
Right.
So we had a tree up early October, and it was Halloween. Then we converted it to Thanksgiving, and then we converted it to Christmas. We're not going to do that next year. We decided that it kind of destroys some of the festive feelings
of
when you
the
have the
Christmas tree.
Yeah.
If you bring it out early. Yeah.
We might get like a Halloween tree that's like really small or something, but not use the same one, I don't think.
That might be cool.
Yeah.
This year I put up my tree later than normal, and all I did was put lights on it. But I did also, you gave me some lights. So I had a bunch of little white lights that you gave me. So I put it on my ficus, and then I also put the little white lights in this big purple vase. It's a vase. It's just a fucking vase. And I put all these little white lights in there too. And it, like, the whole living room glows without having any other lights on.
That's fun.
It is fun.
Well, we kind of do that year round anyway. Our house, we like lights. And so we keep lights. Like, we don't sleep. We sleep in a room with stars on the ceiling.
And a Christmas tree.
The Christmas tree's been gone for a little while.
Has it? Okay.
Yeah.
Because
It
for a
burned
long
out.
time, you had this little tiny, 2-foot
Yep.
pre-lit Christmas tree on your fireplace in the bedroom.
Yep, and it blew out. The lights blew out. We've talked about getting another one, but the stars on the ceiling, which kind of travel around on the ceiling, that's good enough.
Yeah.
But we have a fake fireplace in our bedroom, and we have a salt lamp, so we have a lot of light.
You got a lot of light
I don't
going
like
on in
sleeping in
there.
a dark room. I don't know why.
That's weird. I didn't used to. I used to like to have some light. Like, I would leave, before I got my dog, I would leave the lights in the living room on so that it would just come through the bedroom door, which was nowhere near my bed. But I would still have a little bit of light. And then at some point, I just said, I need it dark in here so I can sleep. And now it's got to be dark. It has to be dark.
How are you when you get Christmas presents that are crappy? Like you're having a festive thing, you're all sitting around and someone gives you a present, and it obviously shows that someone hasn't spent a lot of time on it. Do you just pretend like, oh, this is great, or are you just like, get out and then just throw it away?
Well, okay, if somebody gives me a gift and it's not offensive, I'm going to say thank you. That doesn't mean I'm going to cherish it for life. I'm going to say thank you. If it's something funny, I'm going to either take a photo of it or, have some memorabilia about it or something like that, and then just, give it away or throw it away. Like some of the shit you've given me, I don't have it anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. It's the same thing. I've even recently thrown some stuff away. It was fun for a year or two, and this is like, I don't have room for it anymore.
I don't need it anymore. Yeah, I never needed it in the first place.
Yeah.
And for me, you know how I feel about things anyways. Having things around, especially things like knickknacks. I'm not a knickknack person. So when there's knickknacks around my house that I didn't pick out and somebody gave me and I didn't fall madly in love with it, it might stay there for a year or two and then it's going away.
I'm the same way with patty wax.
Are you? You don't like patty wax?
No. You're knickknack, I'm patty wax.
Yeah. Who gives the dog the bone? That would be you.
Yeah, I do. I tend to do that.
That's weird.
All right, so 2019 is closing down. It was a pretty good one.
It was.
I enjoyed it.
What was let me ask you this. What was your favorite part of 2019?
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to think. So I started off 2019 in a cabin in North Georgia, which I highly recommend anyone do that. We did that for New Year's, and we're doing it this year.
Yes, you are.
I'm going to go spend a little bit of time away, a little vacation, hot tubbing, fireplace, which the way Georgia's been, I don't even know that we need the fireplace.
It's going to be hot.
The temperature is dropping tomorrow. Highs in the low 50s, lows getting down into almost freezing. So I think we'll be okay.
Interesting.
But it's just fun. And so we'll be a little secluded. There's a winery up there. We're going to do some winery stuff. There's a old mill.
Is it just you and your wife?
Yes.
Okay.
And dogs.
And the dogs.
Yep, we're taking
But they don't get to drink the wine.
No, not unless they ask.
Because we know Buddha's a lush.
Yeah. But we did that at the start of the year, so it was a great year starting off. I was trying to think of some of the events that I did this year. There weren't a lot. But what I did do, I did a lot more art this year.
You did?
And I enjoyed the art. I discovered there's a there's a movement in Atlanta of free art, kind of giving away free art. And I started doing that this year, and I loved it. It was a lot of fun.
And you were prolific. You did a lot of it.
Tons of it.
Yeah, and they could be tiny pieces, or sometimes they were full-size art pieces that you would leave out.
I'm backing off of it a little bit for certain reasons, but I'm still doing art, and I'm hoping to do more art next year. So, but I loved the fact that I got to do a lot of that. I was trying to think of the shows that I saw this year. Pink. I saw Pink.
Yeah.
That was weird. I love Pink. My wife loves Pink. We were both kind of not in the mood for it.
Oh, yeah,
so
that'll happen.
We left before it was over.
Yeah.
It was a good show, though.
Sure.
I like her shows.
Cool. Okay.
So, but I know I saw that. I was trying to think of some smaller shows, but I can't remember them.
I don't think you went to many smaller. You went to see Devil Makes 3, didn't you?
Not this year.
Not this year? Okay.
No.
What about Pokey? Was that this year? That was the year before?
Not a whole lot.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. You did a lot of staying home.
I did. Went to see Cirque du Soleil, which we've talked about on the show. That was probably my favorite thing. I'm going to hope to do that a whole lot more.
Okay.
I don't know. It was kind of laid back, but it was fun. Let's see. Business wise, I got to go to Texas, West Texas. Holy crap. That was an experience.
Yeah.
So hot.
Yeah.
Long drive.
What, 20 hours you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that on here too.
To the point where I just don't know that I want to do that anymore.
That's a lot. And you do it in a day.
Yeah.
The
mostly.
drive.
But it just takes a lot out of you. And then Florida, did a Florida job, couple Florida jobs. That was fun.
Yeah.
Got to go to Destin Beach.
And you fell in love.
Loved Destin. Didn't think that I would. I'm not a beach person, as you know. But we were also there when it was cold. And that's my thing.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to go take my wife there in February. So it'll still be cold.
It'll still be cold. And that's for her birthday, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah, that was kind of my year. I got to say I'm trying to think, did I discover any band or anything this year not this year.
I don't think
New
you
bands?
did.
No, I didn't.
No. Okay, my turn.
Sure.
One of the best things that happened to me in 2019.
You got laid. Finally.
No,
Oh, sorry.
I didn't.
Sorry.
For all of 2019.
I didn't mean to rub it in.
Thank you for that. Appreciate you. But that's the true also of all of 2018 and probably most of 2017 as well.
Sorry.
So thank you for bringing up such a sore subject.
Sorry.
Or a
Not sore.
not sore.
You wished it was sore.
Shut up. But I did get to reconnect with a friend of mine, a very, very dear friend of mine who we hadn't been communicating well or at all for a few months. And we got to have a clearing of the air.
Oh, that's always important.
Talk with my hands and hit my mic here. And we got to have, and since then, we've just gotten closer. So good times, good things have happened there.
That's good.
So that's probably the best thing that happened to me in 2019.
Those are always good. It's nice to kind of get negative energy out.
Yeah.
In a way.
Or confusion and non-communication and just really start opening up and talking. And
almost every time there's problems like that, it's always miscommunication
or lack of communication.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just like one person's thinking something, one person's thinking another, and no one's sharing the whole thing
or listening.
Yeah,
there's either nobody sharing or nobody listening or one or the other on either side. In this case, it was just kind of nothing.
Yeah,
and then made it something.
Okay,
so that was awesome.
That's good though.
I did also go to see Cirque du Soleil, which was fun.
Yes, it's really cool.
Which was an exciting thing I did this year. What else did I do this year? I didn't do any traveling this year.
Oh, I didn't. Well, other than business, I did do a little bit.
I went in. Let me see. Is that true? Was this the year I went to Colorado?
Yes.
Okay, so I did do some traveling.
You were going to go to California and you didn't.
I was going to go to California in October and I could not. But I did go to Colorado, and that was a mostly enjoyable trip.
Yeah.
And I love to travel. If I could travel more, I absolutely would.
If you traveled, would you travel always by plane?
Depends on the purpose of traveling. Because I love road trips.
Yeah.
I love getting in the car and going on a road trip because there's so much to see along the way.
If I have a very comfortable car,
right,
that's
Right.
that's the way to do it.
Absolutely.
Just rent a good car.
But if that's the point of the trip, is the road trip,
Yep.
absolutely. If the point of the trip is the destination, I'm flying.
Can fly, yeah.
Absolutely. I'm not going to waste a day or two of my vacation on the road getting to where I want to be.
I've said this before on the show, and I'm going to say it again. I would love to just go up through New England around the fall, and then go up into Nova Scotia and Newfoundland. And I just think that would be great.
Yes,
And
that
cold.
would be a blast.
Really cold.
It is,
An Arctic blast.
I think there's a drink called that.
Yeah, so, but the drive up would be fun. It'd be long, but it'd be fun.
It would. And I mean, in that time of year, if it's snowing and stuff, it might be slightly dangerous too. But if you had a good car and that's your weather style, so it would be beautiful. I would love to spend like a week at like a beach house in Maine.
Yep.
When it's cold. So, where you can see the rocks of the coast and the ocean crashing up against the rocks, and you get to cuddle. And yeah, that's what I want to do.
You gotta have somebody to cuddle with first. But I hear you could rent those too.
You can. I can be cuddly by myself. If
Oh,
I
you
need
just
to.
cuddle yourself.
Just cuddle
Take
myself.
your dog and cuddle your dog.
There you go.
Toffee can go with you.
If that's the best I got, that's what I'll cuddle.
Let's think podcast wise. We did a few things this year. We hit episode 100.
We did.
A week ago? No, a month ago.
A month ago, because
Little
we're
more than a
on
month ago.
106 today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Episode 100 we did. That's a little more, or about 2 years.
It's just that we're at 2 years right now because
Exactly.
there's 52 weeks, so we're just over 2 years.
So we did that. We represented in our very first parade, Halloween parade here in Atlanta.
Yes, we
which
did.
was fun. It got rained on. It wasn't the best circumstances ever,
And
but
it was probably our fault that it rained, like
Oh, yeah,
cosmically our fault. We
Yeah.
caused it because
the disaster.
it
whole
had
thing.
been 17 years that this thing
Right.
hadn't been rained on, and we show up and it rains
I think we should do it next year, though.
just to see if it rains.
Yeah, it rained
Okay.
on the Pride Parade the week before, which I love. I should mention that's one of my favorite things.
You do absolutely love the Pride Parade. You're all about
It's
that
one of the
parade.
most fun things, even though it got rained on. The amount of people there and the amount of festivity there is it's just fun.
Yeah.
I mean, take the kids fun.
Yeah.
So that's one of my favorite things about the year. And although I didn't get to see, that's the problem with actually walking in the Halloween parade is not participating.
You don't get to see it all.
Yeah, you don't-
And now if they had the big party afterwards, or if we had
Yeah.
stayed for it,
Yeah.
because they didn't even
We
have
were
most
not
of
in
it.
in the mood.
And we weren't going to stay even if
No.
they did. But you would have gotten to see more that
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
And hopefully next year it'll be that way.
Yeah, we'll make some changes. I think we should go back and we should do it again next year. We did do a Halloween show where we had stories, kind of like we did on our old podcast. That was fun. We had some people participate. That was a lot of fun.
That was fun.
Hopefully, again, we'll do that
Yes, we will.
next year.
Oh, one of the other things that I enjoyed in my life, not podcast wise, but otherwise, was I got to do like huge Halloween decorations. It took us a week to do it, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the process of doing it. I enjoyed the end result, all of it, and I got to enjoy it while it was there, because my house I don't have a front to my house. Like, I live behind
Right.
somebody.
Yep.
So I could do all that at my place if I wanted to, but it would just be for me.
Yeah, no one would see.
There would be no point in it whatsoever.
Well, so that was fun. All that stuff was fun.
Yes.
I feel like the podcast, I don't know, do you think we grew? Did we grow? We did some new things, so we sort of grew.
We grew and changed as you do,
Yeah.
as people, and as a podcast. And people may say we changed for the worst. They might say we changed for the better. If they want to tell us what they think, they can email us at thisepicdisaster@gmail.com and say, hey, you guys are doing better than you were last year. Or, hey, you guys have really gone downhill.
Yeah.
Please tell us, because our numbers just kind of stay steady.
Two things I want to do. Got two goals for the podcast next year.
What are they?
You can probably guess what they are.
One is get more listeners.
No, I can't really control that. Really, I feel like you just do good content, you'll get more listeners.
Okay, so what are your goals? Please tell me.
Well, that's the one I always talk about. I want, and I'm kind of dedicating myself to the pursuit of this next year, which is more guests. I really feel like we need more guests on the show.
I agree.
And when we got a few this year, not as many as I wanted.
Right.
And I'll tell you why we don't get a lot of guests. And I think it's my fault. Because I like one-on-one guests. I like when someone sits here in the chair, or we go there, and we record them one-on-one. That's what I like.
Yeah.
But you can't always do that. And a lot of guests, I think we could probably get more guests if we're willing to do a remote thing.
Like a Skype meeting kind of
Skype
thing.
or Zoom or something like that. And there's no reason not to.
There really isn't.
I just feel like it's not as personal. I don't know.
You can make it slightly more personal if you use the video aspect of those conferences. I've been on podcasts before, like our friend Mike Faber over at ESO Network. Check them out. I'm on Earth Station Who, which is one of their podcasts. I've been on it twice now.
Yeah.
Hoping that they'll have me back again soon. But I think I have some catching up to do on the show before they will. But they just do voice.
Yeah.
There's no video or anything with me, and it can be difficult because it's hard to have like an animated conversation like you and I are without stepping over each other.
Right.
And when you're face to face with someone, or you can see them, then you can anticipate when they're going to when there's going to be a break in the conversation better, because you can tell by their facial expression.
Well, the problem with video is it takes up so much bandwidth, and so there's lag, and sometimes it affects the sound quality.
That's true.
So I think if you're just doing sound, you're going to get better sound. But anyway, that's sort of my mission this year. My goal is to do more interviews. And having said that, to our listeners who have stuck with us through forever, if you would like to hear specific interviews with specific people, drop us a line. Let us know.
Absolutely. And
ThisEpicDisaster@gmail.com. Tell us who you would like for us to interview, and we'll try to set it up.
And if you have an in with those particular people.
Well, that's the thing. This is the thing. If it doesn't have to be celebrities.
No.
Just interesting people.
Right.
So maybe one of our listeners is an interesting people.
Maybe.
Or know interesting people, and they can kind of maybe help set us up with that. We'd be totally fine with
Absolutely. I think that'd be a blast. Yeah. We need more guests because you and I are getting a little boring, I think. Are we getting boring?
We're always boring. The other thing that I want to do, and we've talked about this, and I'm not going to reveal a lot.
Okay.
But I want to, and I got some plans on kind of sponsoring a live event or two. Mm-hmm. So that's on kind of in my mind for this coming year too. We
have discussed a slight part of it on the podcast before. Like one of the live events, just so that our listeners can get an idea of what you're talking about, is like a comedy event where comedians can, like a live stage comedy event.
Yeah, night of stand-up.
Yeah, and they each get anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be forever. It could be a couple-hour show with an intermission. Maybe have 20 people up on stage at most. And if we could sponsor that and make that happen, if you know somebody that has a club like that that's willing to work with us, or comedians, send them to us, have them write us, or write us yourself and tell us about them at thisepicdisaster@gmail.com.
Yep, please. Okay, cool. So that's our goals.
That's our goals.
That's what we're doing.
We
That's
have goals.
Where we're going.
What about personal goals? What kind of are you setting resolutions?
A little bit. I don't think they're formal. I think I talked about it last week. I started dieting again.
Right.
Doing pretty well on it. This time when I'm doing the diet, I actually purchased a watch to kind of keep up with all of the stuff, my exercising, calories, all of the stuff.
Right.
Do you have to potty?
No.
Okay.
Why? Because I'm wiggling?
Yeah, you were doing a little dance. I don't know. Thought maybe you had to go.
No.
Wow. I bought a bike so I could go ride. Mm-hmm. I've been walking, so I'm doing that kind of stuff. And I'm counting calories, which I don't know how successful I'll be, but so far I've been doing pretty good with it.
Good.
My goal next year to lose 50 pounds. I'm marking down 50 pounds. And according to my little app.
It's a big goal.
Yes. According to my little app, in July of next year, I will have lost 50 pounds if I stick with this diet that I'm on. So I'm determined to do it. My wife has kind of gotten excited about it. She's working on it too, so it's something we're doing together.
Good.
It's always good when your partner's working on it with you.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that. My other goal is more art, different kind of arts. Just play around with arts and arts, like experiencing. Like when I went to Cirque du Soleil, just experiencing that made me really kind of miss, because I haven't gone to theater in a while,
Right.
And comedy and stand up and just all of that stuff.
Right.
So I want to get back into doing some of that. I don't know if I would do performing. It would take a lot to get me to perform again. I don't think I'll do that, but just go and participate.
Yeah, and just be a part of it.
Be a
Watch
spectator.
And
Continue, like I started doing meditation this year, continue doing that stuff.
so you can reach enlightenment.
There's no such thing.
Okay. Well, you can. I mean, you can strive for enlightenment.
No. But I am going to, I'm planning anyway to start teaching meditation classes in Atlanta. If you're in Atlanta listening to the show and you want to take some meditation classes, call me. Basically, meditation for artists.
Yeah.
It's sort of focused that anybody can do it. You don't have to be an artist, but I'm trying to gear it towards the creative person, meditation for creative people.
Okay.
So I'll be hopefully doing that next year. So those are my goals, simple goals, really. I feel like, don't you think?
I do think I have a few goals of my own.
Yes.
Definitely to get back into art, because I have been pretty much out of it.
What do you what do you consider doing? Getting back into art?
Well, I want to get back into painting, and I want to start making jewelry again.
Yes, beading.
Yeah, those are things that I enjoy, and they're things that aren't hard to do once you get into it.
Weren't you the one that was telling me you wanted to do chainmail?
Yes.
That would be great. I mean, I think in Atlanta there'd be a big crowd for that, big audience for that.
Yeah, I do want to start chainmail, which I intend to do as well. The reason I'm not doing it yet is because I need some capital to invest in the materials to begin with, which is not expensive, not really expensive, and I can get started on small things like doing chainmail jewelry and stuff
Anybody
like
out
that.
there want to donate to Cheri's chainmail?
Sure, buy us some supplies. There you go. Maybe we should start an Amazon wish list. And people can just start buying us things.
Yeah, why not?
We'll do that. Epic disaster wish list.
Subaru Forester?
Yeah.
I need one of those.
I need one of those too. But those are a couple of goals.
Painting? What are you going to paint? Your house?
No, not that kind of
fine
painting.
Art painting?
Like painting.
What's your style? What you want to do?
Well, I like pretty simplistic painting.
Okay.
Like stenciling type stuff.
Oh.
Not actually using a stencil, but just like 3 colors and no more than that. And just doing a very, almost a shadow of a very familiar type. I have this thing in my head. I can't explain it right now, but I'll let you know if I actually get around to doing it. I will post photos.
Okay.
But yeah, painting and doing jewelry. I also want to get out more. I do tend to go for walks a lot, but I need to walk more.
Puppy helps you get out.
It does. She does. Yes. So I don't really have lofty goals this year. I just need to take better care of myself this year.
You eating different?
I am eating a little bit different, yeah. Again, mostly for weight loss, not because I don't think I look good, but because I don't feel very good.
Yeah.
So I'd like to lose a few pounds so that I feel better. And that'll help me with my energy to go walking more and to get out and do things more. And yeah, I'm not
Get a bike. I'll bike with you.
I can't ride a bike.
You can.
It's been years.
It's been years. I bought a bike. I rode it down the street. My butt is still hurting. That was like 3 days ago.
How far did you go?
3 miles.
On your first bike ride?
Yeah, that wasn't a smart thing to do. But my legs gave out and my butt is still hurting. I did buy, and it's actually, I'm waiting for it to be delivered today. I bought a new padded bike seat, and I think that's going to help out.
So, like, you got home from your ride and you went immediately
because my butt is my nickname on the show would be Tinder Butt.
Tinder Butt.
Tinder Butt.
Tinder Butt. All right, that's what I'm going to start
also
calling
where
you.
I date from.
Tinder Butt.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, Atlanta's a bike town. It really is.
Yeah.
And so I live in the Stone Mountain area. And so today I was downtown Stone Mountain because there's a bike shop down there. Aztec Bikes, by the way, if you're in Stone Mountain area, go down there. The guy's cool. I went in to ask him about my bike. He tried to sell me a bike. Almost bought it. That's how good of a sales guy he was.
You already have a bike.
I just bought a bike,
Why
and I
would you
almost
buy
bought
a
another
second
one.
bike?
It was better.
Oh, my God, Rick.
He's a good sales guy. But he does bike repairs and fixes up things and stuff. So Aztec Biking.
Cool.
Or Aztec Spikes or something like that.
Something
it's just
like
Aztec. But check him out in Stone Mountain. So, so Stone Mountain's a good place to ride the bike. Even the park is good.
Oh, yeah.
But I can't wait to take my bike down to the Beltway because I want to ride. I've been wanting to do that for so long.
The Beltline.
Beltline.
Yeah.
Beltway's in D.C.
Yes,
but
it is.
the Beltline.
I mean, if you want to take your bike to D.C.
I might. You never know.
Go for it.
I might do it.
Yeah.
But the Beltline driving around, I think that'll be fun.
That would be fun.
Because almost all of Atlanta.
Maybe I'll dig out my rollerblades and we'll go.
Man, I'll tell you, when I was, I went to Dick's. By the way, don't ever go to Dick's.
Don't go to
Dick's
Dick's.
Sporting Good. No. Every time I go to Dick's, I regret it.
And you keep going back.
And I do. And I went back because I needed to look for some bike stuff. I hated it. It's a terrible experience. Don't like it. Dick's. Don't like it. Perfect name for their store.
Tell us how you really feel.
Just my personal opinion. You might feel different about it. But I went there and I was looking at some bike stuff. And while I was looking at the bike stuff, it was right next to the rollerblading stuff. And I used to rollerblade and I loved it when I did it. Now I can't do it, but I would love to do it again.
I don't know I could do it.
The
anymore.
problem is I'm too tall. If I fall, I'm gone. I'm so far from the ground that just, boom, it would hurt. And I weigh so much. So
It doesn't have anything to do with how tall I am. It's just how old I am.
I
If
never-
I fall, I'm done.
I never really learned how to stop. So I've seen these people on rollerblades going down a hill, doing 1,000 miles an hour and just acting like it's no big deal.
Right.
And I'm like, "Nyeh, get out of my way. I can't stop. Fat man coming down the street. But if I'm on like a straight, so like where I used to work when I lived in Knoxville and I worked at the University of Tennessee, there was a parking garage, a huge parking garage. And I'd go in there on the weekends when almost no one was there. And I would just rollerblade that garage. That was so much fun. I would do that. Man, I would do that for hours. That was awesome.
I didn't do a lot of it, but I did it when I was living in Alaska with my sister-in-law years and years and years ago. And I wasn't very good at it. And I don't know that I would be able to do it again.
I'm trying to get my wife to get a tricycle because she can't ride a bike. She doesn't know how. And so I'm trying to get her to get a trike, an adult trike, not a little, not a big wheel.
That would look silly.
Yeah, I don't know. I think she might fit it. But,
it might be cute, though.
But an adult trike or something like that, I think then we can go out, driving around. That's what you do. Get your bike. We'll go biking.
Okay, I'll think about
Going
it.
around Grant Park.
Biking
around the park.
Let me rent a couple and see if I can
that's a
even
good
do
idea.
it anymore.
Now that I think about it, maybe I should have done that.
Maybe you should have.
Should have rented.
But instead, you just went out and bought.
And I almost bought another one. If I hadn't bought the bike that I bought this week, I think I would have gotten the one that the guy, because it was, I'm tall. It's hard to find a tall bike. He had 2 tall bikes. One was more expensive than the one that I bought, but not too expensive that I wouldn't have bought it. The other one was $1,700. And I just I wouldn't get that one. But it was good. It's worth $17, I'm sure.
So I'm going to interrupt you really quick and say I would never spend $1,700 on a bike unless I biked every single day.
Yeah, that's the thing. But I'm sure it's worth it. I
also-
would if I had it.
Okay.
All right.
I just noticed something.
What? You have sediment in your glass? I don't see what you're noticing. You're about to pour it out. What do you notice?
See all that stuff in the bottom of my glass?
Well, it's very thick. It's sediment. Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Well, okay. But
So I'm done with
a
that.
lot of beer has that.
I know, but that's like chunky.
Should we talk about it? Shall we?
Yes, let's discuss the
Shall
beer.
we tell what we think about the beer that we're drinking?
That has chunky sediment in the
Chunky
bottom.
beer.
I have finished mine.
Basically.
Because I'm not drinking
Except for
the
the chunks. Who do I have? Who's calling me? Is this my grandmother?
Is someone calling you?
Sorry about that.
On-
I never bring my phone up here.
That sounded
I stuck
like
it in my pocket.
That sounded like a rotary phone that you had stashed somewhere, and it wouldn't.
It's a rotary phone sound because I'm so deaf I can't hear my regular thing. I have to put it on there because it's the only way I can hear it in the other room or in my pocket. Because a lot of times when I'm working, airbrush, and the compressor's going, I can't hear anything, but I can hear that bell. So
Okay.
that's why.
All right.
Sorry.
So sorry for the interruption, folks. About this beer, again, it is Liquid Spiritual Delight Imperial Stout by Second Shift Brewing out of St. Louis, Missouri. It is 11.5% alcohol. And
So pick mine up. You'll see how much I drink.
about half of it.
Yeah.
I would say you drank about half of yours because you're drinking it out of the can. Sorry, Doug.
Mm-hmm.
And
We're gonna visit that here in a minute.
yeah, we're gonna visit that. But mine, I drank from the glass, and I enjoyed the flavor. It is an Imperial Stout, so I rarely have more than one of those, anyways.
Very thick.
It's a little sweet.
A bit sweet.
It is a bit sweet, but it's definitely chocolate, and it's got coffee notes to it. Yeah, because it is a stout.
Yep.
I mean, it's not super special, and I never did get that flavor that you were talking about that comes at the back end.
Right.
So I would probably give this one a 3.
A 3.
Yeah, right down the middle.
Okay. All right. So here's my thing.
What?
When I first tasted it, I was like, "Oh, I really like this," and then it had that weird little aftertaste. Like it's very grassy, and I was like, "What is that?" That's going to be interesting as I drink it through the show. And there was a time where I was like, "This is a 3.5." I was like, maybe a 4.
Ooh,
it's getting up there. I really like the taste. It's very thick. It's got some. The more I drank it, and this is my fault, it has a really strong, like metallic can flavor.
that's because
I've never had a beer do that before, and I've drank out of cans many times, and it to the point it's like sucking a penny.
Yeah,
I can't drink it. It's so metallic, and that's why I tasted yours out of the glass to see if it had that same, and it doesn't. So either mine is a batch that is tainted with the taste of metallic, or it's because it's in the can. It's the first time I've ever had that situation happen.
Doug's answer would be it's because you're drinking it out of a can.
I know, but I've drank out of cans most of my life. I mean, I'm going to tell you something else in a minute too, but
okay.
but no beer ever has had a metallic can taste until this one. This is the first one.
Interesting.
And to the point where I can't drink it. It's so strong.
That's interesting.
It just tastes like metal.
Weird.
So, but I'm still giving it I'm going to give it a 3.5 because I like the flavor. It's a 3.5
out of the can.
Yeah, I think it could even get a 4 if it didn't have that taste to it, and
Okay.
that's my fault. Well, I'm going to take this beer downstairs, put it in a glass, and try to finish it off. If it still tastes like it,
I would rather you open another one and taste it because that might just be tainted now. There might not be anything you can do.
I didn't put it on my tain't. Anyway, it has that weird taste. That's the only thing I don't like about it. Everything else I kind of like. It's got more than one note. It's very flavorful. Lots of notes in this one. So I'll say 3.
It's like a whole orchestra.
I'm just going to go 3.5, being bold. I believe it earned a 3.
Okay.
But I feel like potentially it's a 3.5. So I'm
Okay.
giving it that.
Nice. Okay.
So there we go. So I want to tell you this. I went to a Christmas party. Okay?
Okay.
At the Christmas party, they had beer.
Okay.
Christmas party. They said, get your beer in the fridge. They had wine. They had liquor. They had beer. They said, get your beer. I thought, okay, I'll get a beer. I went to get a beer. Guess what beer they had?
What?
Guess what the beer was?
Coors Light.
They had Coors Light. That was pretty much all they had. So I was like, well, okay, that used to be my favorite beer. I'll go ahead and have Coors Light. I don't mind. I'm going to have a Coors Light.
All right.
Got the Coors Light, opened it up. I'm telling you right now, might be the worst beer I've ever had in my life.
Exactly.
How did we go from Coors Light, my favorite beer, to Coors Light, the worst beer I've ever had in my life?
Because your palate matured.
I don't know what I feel about that.
You are no longer a Coors Light aficionado.
I used to hate craft beer. I used to hate flavored beer and all that. And it was hard in the show. It still is. Some of it I don't like at all. But I never thought I would lose the taste for Coors Light. And it was literally the worst. I mean, it was just water. It didn't even have a beer taste
It's
to it.
not any good. It's no good. Don't drink Coors Light. Don't let your friends drink Coors Light.
So I finally woke up to that. I just thought I would let you know.
I appreciate you letting me know that, and it excites me in my core.
Your Core Light. I think that we've never reviewed Coors Light. I don't think.
Let's not. And say we did.
We did review Budweiser, and we kind of got in trouble for it. But
We did.
I feel like maybe we can do a Coors Light. Maybe next year that'll be a goal.
The only way.
Here's what I'll do. Let's do one show where we have like 5 beers and we put in a glass, and I see if you can identify them. And one of them will be Coors Light.
Okay, we can do that. We can do that. Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
We should do lots of things like that.
A little tasting. Well, we've been wanting to get beer and liquor tasting things here on the show. We need to do that next year. Tucker Brewing Company right down the street.
I will tell you, though, that the only way, pardon me, the only way that I will drink anything like Miller Lite, Bud Light, or Coors Light is if it's mixed with tomato juice.
Oh. Well, if it's for a contest or for a
No, I mean,
science,
I will that way.
You have to kind of taste it. You don't have to drink the whole thing. You taste it.
I just have to taste it.
Yeah. All right. Is that it?
Yep, that's it.
Well, what do we say to our listeners out there who have listened to us throughout the year? Thank you so much for doing so.
Thank you.
We're not always great. We're not always entertaining. We're not always funny. Nope. In fact, rarely we probably are.
That's
but we're consistent. We're here almost every Monday.
Or Tuesday, depending.
If you're new to the show, keep listening. It does change. We do have some features that we bring back on a regular basis. But if you want to hear something that we don't do, if you have some ideas of some things we can do, if you'd like to hear us wrestle on the air, we might do that.
But we'd have to wrestle in something that made sounds like...
Who knows? Like this?
Yes, very much like that.
That's my poop.
It's nasty.
Sitting here playing with poop.
Nasty.
I got a gift of poop last week, and I'm playing with it. But yeah, if, please... Now I ran them off. I'm sorry. Come back. I don't play with my poop.
It's not real poop.
Yeah, give us some suggestions. You could do so by writing to thisepicdisaster@gmail.com. We're also on Facebook. That's usually the best place to find us.
I think so.
On Facebook, you can interact with us. You can talk to us. We do have a Facebook page and a group, secret group, the Disaster Baiters. We don't talk about it a lot. Not everybody's allowed to be in it, just our favorite people.
Mm-hmm.
But there are
all two of them.
Several disaster baiters there. And if you want to do that, look us up. Go to This Epic Disasters page. You'll see a link to the Disaster Baiters Facebook group. We also have our regular page, thisepicdisaster.com. You can listen to shows there.
You can.
You can also listen to shows at YouTube. Mm-hmm. All the shows are there.
But you don't get to see us because we're not always pretty.
That is correct. You can see some of us on Instagram.
Yeah.
And occasionally, although rarely, on Twitter.
Very rarely.
But other than that, we try to be active. And if you want a sticker, just send us an email saying, I want a sticker. Tell us where we can mail the sticker, and we'll mail it to you. We don't put you on an email list or a mailing list or anything, and you can have free stickers.
All the stickers you want.
That's right. But we just want you to be involved, please. And thanks for listening, and thanks for playing with us. And we're going to have some contests and stuff next year. And
here we go. I'm going to do it. I'm going to say it.
What's that?
See you next year.
See you next year, everybody.
Okay.
Take care of yourself, and thanks for playing around with us, and we will see you next year.
Safe New Year's.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. This is a Violet Jester Media podcast.